Hey, this is Matt with Let's Talk Music. I'm here with Carli Foxx of the Rumours, as her name popped up on the Zoom meeting. Carli fucking Fox. So, which I was digging. That's pretty rock and roll. So, how you doing this evening?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Doing good. Just talking with you. Love talking to musicians. So, been doing it just about every night for like the last couple of months. Matter of fact, last night went and did three interviews with the band Otherwise, Saliva, and who was the other one? Ninth Planet Out. So
Nice.
so yeah, it's been going pretty good. So you're from Waterloo, Iowa.
Yes, I am.
What's going on out there in Waterloo right now?
So actually, this weekend there's a little festival that we have going on called Cornstalk. Spicoli's, that was an old venue here when before COVID happened. That was like our home base venue. So unfortunately, COVID brought it down, but they're still hosting events. So they're doing Cornstalk again this year, and they're holding it at Electric Park Ballroom
Mm-hmm.
in Waterloo. And our band's playing on Saturday night. There's some bands playing tomorrow night as well. So it's going to be a nice little rock and roll weekend for everybody in town.
Cool. You stoked for it?
Oh my God, I'm so excited.
So let's talk about the new single "I Love Playing with Fire" by the Runaways.
Yeah.
I I was reading through your press release and seeing that Joan Jett is the ultimate inspiration to you.
Oh yeah, absolutely. She's the whole reason I even picked up a guitar.
Oh, really?
Yeah. My mom took me to see her at a county fair one time. And then after I saw her, I knew I was like, that's what I want to do. So the next day I went over and got my dad's old electric guitar from like 1971. And I attempted to start learning to play on that.
Awesome. Yeah, she's something else. I've seen her a couple of times, and she's out on that stadium tour with Def Leppard, Poison, and Motley Crue. So, but yeah, her she out of all the girls in that band, she was the one with the biggest attitude.
Oh yeah, absolutely. She's
So,
kick
uh,
she's kick ass.
oh yeah. So the other members in the band, Ella Rose and Daniel, how did you guys all meet? How did you get started with the band?
So Arnella or Ella Rose, her full name's Arnella. We met in algebra class in high school, actually. And so we've been best friends since we were about 14. And Daniel and I met, I want to say, well, actually, when I was 15, I went out to try out for this all girl band called Sweet Little Sister. And it happened to be in Daniel's basement because that was his girlfriend at the time's band. So I had met at this little like rehearsal, and then he went and whatever, and then I ended up meeting him years later at Spicoli's, and he started coming out to our shows every now and again, and then I had to start begging him to be our drummer for like an entire year, and then he finally got drunk and accepted the position.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest with you, it's a lot more prevalent now. Girl bands rock. I mean, I love Hailstorm. I love Evanescence, Lacuna Coil. I mean, you put a woman in front of a microphone with a good voice, and she's got the audience.
Hell
So,
yeah.
I listened to a couple of the other songs. Want you. I want your love. Want your drugs. Like that one. Let's get it on. So, I mean, what is your inspiration for these songs? I mean, you just sit down and does it come to you naturally, or is it from different experiences?
Usually it'll come from another experience. I Want Your Love, Want Your Drugs was about an ex-boyfriend that, basically just dated me because he wanted to have some weed all the time.
Nah.
I wrote about that. And Want Ya, actually, that one was written about. So during COVID, I watched Dexter a lot. I wanted to get through the whole season, and I had nothing to really look forward to during that time, and I needed something to happen. So I wrote Want Ya about the Dexter character that Michael C. Hall plays.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay.
that inspired that song, and Let's Get It On. I don't even remember what that song's about, to be honest with you.
I mean, it could be about two things, let's get it on or fighting,
Right?
Um,
Exactly.
I
Exactly.
mean,
The previous, probably.
Al Green, did a good version of it. So,
Right? Yeah.
so, no, it just, is a stadium tour coming out that way at all? Or are you going to be able to see Joan Jett when they come through?
Yeah, actually, my mom and I are going to go see them in Chicago at Wrigley Field.
Oh, okay. So any chances of maybe getting to meet her?
Actually, I'm pretty sneaky. So, and I don't really care about Poison or Def Leppard. So I'm like, you know what? I'll take that opportunity to maybe go backstage or something like that. Just sneak around. Maybe I'll wear an all black outfit so I can sneak by a security or something.
That's cool. So, what I've seen that you guys are talking about bringing out some more singles. When are we looking at hearing those?
Well, currently we are looking at putting out a song. Hopefully, we're going to put out a music video with it. It's called Daddy's School. And it's about, well, I'll wait to talk about what it's about. But we're looking at putting that out hopefully sometime in the fall.
Okay.
Recorded, but we want to make sure that we get the music video done right, and we got to get chatting with our music video guy. But we've just been so busy lately with everything in the shows coming up that we've just had no time. Yes.
Oh, I mean, nothing wrong with that. Being busy is a good thing.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm losing my mind a little bit, but it's worth it.
Oh yeah. It's like, I was talking to the one tour manager last night, and I thanked her for hooking me up with everything and this and that. And I said, well, get you some sleep. I hope, you get some rest. And she's like, yeah, me too. I've been up for like 24 hours. So I'm like, well, that's the rock and roll lifestyle. I mean, it's very demanding.
Oh yeah, no sleep, try not to get sick, eat just enough food, and try to work out if you can.
Yep. So, is there an EP coming out, or do you already have one out?
So the last record we put out was right before or right when COVID first was happening, called Suck It. We're gonna put out an LP actually. That's gonna be sometime next year, but we are looking into putting out a live 7-inch record sometime maybe at the end of the year, hopefully, or right at the beginning of next year, so that there's at least something new rather than listening to the same old songs. Because since we became a 3-piece, I really want to put out music of us as a 3-piece, because honestly I think it's better, and it's more the sound that we've been trying to go for the last however many years that we've been together.
So, were you previously a 4-piece, or?
We were, yes.
Care to talk about that at all?
I don't want to drag anybody under the bus, but I don't know if it's dragging anybody under the bus if it's all true statements. There was a lot of drama with our past member, and there was some conflict, and a lot of it had to do on his part of it, and we just decided that we didn't want to mess around with that anymore, and it was holding us back. So we wanted to we were going to get another member, and then we decided after we jammed as a 3-piece, we're like, we don't need another member. I think this is what we needed to do all along.
Right. So what was his role in the band?
He was lead guitarist.
Okay. And now that's your duty.
Yes, it is.
And I'm sure that, being a Joan Jett fan, you got to love it.
Oh my God. Yeah. I wish that I had started playing lead guitar sooner. I fell in love with the guitar all over again.
That's awesome. Yeah. It's, I mean, you could tell by, your songs, by your album, Suck It, that's definitely the mentality and the attitude of her. I mean, and I love that, you take inspiration from somebody like, Joan Jett, because I mean, back in the day, it was kind of hard for me. It was like either Pat Benatar or Joan Jett. I like Joan Jett's, sexiness and her, her attitude. But then when it came to, music, I was more into Pat Benatar because, she was kind of on top it in the, late 80s, early 90s. So, yeah, I mean, it's it's great that you draw, inspiration from somebody that's, was the Runaways were popular what back in the early 80s.
They got popular, I want to say around like 1975, 1976.
Okay.
Broke up in 1980, and that's when Joan Jett put out her single or her solo stuff.
Right. And then Lita Ford followed later on.
Yeah.
So, any love for Lita Ford?
I'm not as much of a fan for Lita Ford. I just don't really like that sort of music. I guess I'm more of the punk route, more raw. Not to say that she's not amazing. I'm a huge fan of her guitar playing and her attitude as well. But I've always been the Joan Jett girl.
So, like, what other, you say the punk route, what other punk bands did you draw inspiration from, or is it just them?
So who do we draw inspiration from punk wise?
Yes.
So actually there's a newer band, or a modern band, I should say, that I got really into. They're called Amyl and the Sniffers. They're from Australia. They're amazing. I really love what they're doing, and I love the sound and how it's simple, but it's not, and it's raw, and it's in your face, and it's talking about important stuff. So I've taken a lot of inspiration from that. I'm also a huge Iggy Pop fan.
Okay.
There's a band called The Spits that I really like.
I don't think I've heard of that one.
They're awesome. Very short songs because, well, you don't really need a song more than 2.5 minutes long.
Right.
As long as it's yes,
Right. So I see that I watched a video of you guys at the Liars Club doing a live version of I Love Playing with Fire. And man, you just look like you're having a blast.
It's our favorite thing to do, just to be on stage and to play with a crowd in front of you, big or small, just to have that interaction and have that connection with people while you get to do what you love is just the most amazing thing to me.
Yeah, almost like living the dream.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, that's awesome. So, I mean, I seen you guys got a few shows lined up, Illinois, Iowa, whatnot. So after that, when you get to releasing the LP, are you going to hit like, all over?
Oh yeah, actually we do have a tour coming up next month. We start in South Dakota and then we work our way over onto LA. We're actually playing at the Whiskey A Go Go with D-Malls.
Awesome.
So we're looking forward to that. I'm kind of nervous for that show, but then we go down through like Arizona and Texas and I want to say Missouri. I don't remember the schedule, but we do have it up on our Facebook page with all of the dates.
Okay, well, that's only like 3 states away from Ohio, so you guys should make your way over this way.
Actually, we do need to hit Ohio more. I was staying in Columbus actually for a good amount of time over the last couple of years, so I would love to go back to Columbus and actually play with my band there.
Yeah. Did you check out some concerts when you was here?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I went to see Angela Perley play quite a bit. Do you know of her?
I do.
Yeah, I love Angela. She's awesome. I actually played in a Linda Ronstadt tribute band for a night at Natalie's on Grand. Yeah, that was a cool time. Otherwise, I went out to Ace of Cups quite a bit, and we saw some shows there.
See, I've not been to Ace of Cups yet. The one I've been going to is King of Clubs.
Okay.
What they did was they took an old bar that I actually used to hang out in when I was in my early 20s. And it'd been shut down for years. And this guy, I believe he was from a local band or, they might have been a little bit bigger, X Factor One. And I think he's the one that bought it. And like, he's been booking some great talent. They just celebrated their 1 year. They gave away, a nice Jackson Flying V. So, good club. Love the Alrosa. That one's gone. The Newport, LC, all kinds of small clubs around here that, maybe, I don't know, 1,000, 1,500 people max. That's the kind of shows I like. It's those big arena ones are okay, but I think when you're in a smaller club like that, you have more intimacy with the band. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, I totally agree. I absolutely prefer a smaller room over like an arena or something like that. It's just there's so many people in an arena and you can only connect with so many people in that arena. It's like a whole different skill set in my opinion, but when you're in
Right.
a club like you mentioned Liars Club earlier, that's our favorite club to play at. It's small but it's amazing. The times that we have there are just outstanding.
Awesome. Yeah, it is. It's like, last night there was, I'd say maybe 100, 120 people, and this place holds like 1,300. It was a Wednesday night. Not a whole lot of people got on a Wednesday night, but for what was there, I mean, and this is what I love about musicians is that they was able to draw, maybe the 150, 200 people, whatever, they was able to draw them in. And I mean, by the time Saliva hit, I mean, people were just, they were revved up, and I was like, hell yeah, and I'm up on up by the stage taking pictures and stuff. And, it just, for me, that to me is like living the dream. I mean, I'm not, musically inclined, but I love music so much. And it's to be able to be that close to somebody that, I idolized years ago, and just it was a great feeling. I mean, I had a smile on my face the entire time. And I took my 17-year-old daughter and she had a great time.
Ah, that's even better.
Yes. So there was actually a 7-year-old there.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, she was there to see otherwise. And the guy come out, he actually jumped off the stage. Like, I mean, there's this thing in the front where, they have it kind of barricaded where we can get in to take pictures and whatever. Jumped right over that, was singing with the girl or with the lady in a wheelchair, and then went and sang with the little girl. I mean, it was killer.
Oh wow.
And that's what's I mean, to me, that's no, there's nothing better than that. I mean, a musician that, gets out in the audience that connects with their, audience. It's not like, your huge bands. Like, I mean, God knows I love Metallica, but you'll never see them come out in the crowd.
Oh no, definitely not.
Right. So, I mean, it's awesome that, that these guys come out and they connect with their audience. And then, afterwards there's, going over by their merch tables and they're meeting with people. And
Yes.
I feel like, as a fan, and, that's one of the most important things is, I mean, I get it. You're human. You guys have bad days, you might not always want to be so social or whatever, but for this guy, I mean, he was out there taking pictures, hugging people. I mean, still COVID's still somewhat of a threat, and he didn't care. He was loving it. And, the fans were eating it up.
That's
So,
awesome.
I mean, do you guys do like any meet and greets or anything like that at your shows?
Oh, we don't even need the meet and greet. You just come up and hang out. We're always at the merch table, or else we're out in the crowd watching the other bands, um, outside smoking cigarettes, whatever it is. We're just hanging out. I love to meet the people, at the shows and whatnot. You get to meet so many cool people out there on the road, and you won't forget them either. You just meet some really special people and make really cool friends along the way. And I don't know why anybody would want to pass up on that opportunity.
Right. Yeah. It's, I don't know. It is. I think I had a bad experience back in the day where, I'm not going to mention the name. I have several times, but a drummer was walking down High Street after I seen a concert, and we asked him for an autograph, and he says, I don't have time for you. And I was like, and my buddy, my buddy's brother, he was older. He was, he played drums, and this guy was a drummer, and he was like, don't have time for me. He's like, dude, if it wasn't for me, you wouldn't have a job. And I was just like, yeah, you tell him. At the time though, I just kind of was like, holy shit, rock star walking down High Street. But then, as I got older, I kind of understood where he was coming from. Not the guy that was being a butthole, but the other guy. So it was. I mean, it stuck with me though. And then what was great was at the same time, the drummer for the band Steelheart was walking out of the Newport Music Hall, and he heard it, and he was like, "Man, you guys can come hang with us." I was like 16 years old in a bar with a freaking rock band that was on top of the world at the time. I was in heaven.
Right.
So, and that's what I'm talking about, that social interaction. I mean, it makes a world of difference, I mean, and you kind of, and I get it, with the charging for the meet and greets, because, you don't really sell albums anymore. Everything's streamed. It's a lot harder to make, the big money like musicians used to. And, but to me, I'm just like, man, just come out and hang out.
Right.
I'll buy you a beer. I mean, that ain't putting, money in your pocket, but,
The beer.
right. So, we'll go ahead and close it up. I just, if you guys do make it out here to Ohio, would love to sit down and do an interview with all three of you.
Yeah, that would be awesome. Hope I'm going to be talking to our booking guy about some dates for next year. So I'll definitely let him know that we want to hit Columbus for sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's Ohio's a Midwestern state, kind of. I mean, it's not as farmy as Iowa, but we got plenty of farmland around here, cow tip and whatever. But it's Columbus is a pretty rocking town. I mean, and if you spend some time here, that.
Oh yeah, I loved Columbus. I almost moved there. So that's how much I enjoyed it.
Oh, really? See, I'm like ready to move out, but I've been here for my entire life, so.
Oh, I know. That's how I feel about Iowa, but everything's there that you love and have all that, so I get it.
Yeah. All right. Well, like you said, you had just got off of work, so I will let you get started with your evening, and thank you so much for taking the time to talk with me.
Oh my gosh, thank you for having me. It was a wonderful time.
Thank you. All right, we'll talk to you later.
Yes, have a good night.
You too. Bye.